there we go. That's a thumbnail sorted, because I don't know how to upload a thumbnail yet, and YouTube just kind of adds one automatically after a certain amount of time. So sorry, I thought I had something on my nail. Yeah, so I don't know anything about editing or anything, so yeah. So like the last video I uploaded, I don't know anything about editing or anything to do with that. I'm just filming this on my phone, so I'm just going to film it and upload it as is. Although this is the second take, because the last take I started talking about shit that was irrelevant, and I tend to go on a tangent, and I'm not gonna do that. Ooh, I really like this jumper, although I don't wear it out because it's a crop jumper and I'm too fat to wear anything cropped, so I'm just wearing it now because it looks really nice and you can't see my stomach. Like I said, I go off on a tangent. Okay, so for those that don't know, what am I doing? Anyway, my name is Georgina Afiba, as my name, okay, but for the purposes of YouTube, I'm just Georgina Afiba, because I feel like it rhymes, it's cool, like, it's memorable, and as my name, okay, strikes fear into the hearts of any white person I've ever come across. So we're just going to stick to Georgina Afiba, because it's really, really easy to remember and it rhymes. So anyway, what am I doing? My name is Georgina Afiba, and I am a 25-year-old woman living in West London. Whoop whoop, TW14. Not a thing, nobody does that, but yeah, so I'm living in West London, trying to be an actress. And I always say trying to be when somebody asks, because I don't do it often enough, and when I do it, I don't get paid enough to call it a job. So I basically give you a little bit of background context. I've not been to drama school. Not been classically trained. I've been to a couple of acting classes, but like not like a proper course or anything. So I just kind of like when I went from A levels to uni, and I did a drama degree, and I got about halfway through my drama degree, and somebody said to me, "Look, if you want to be an actress, don't do a degree in it." And I was like, I'm here now. I've started, so I'll finish. So I just finished my degree, and although it was loads of fun, and we had like performances at the end of every half term, I mean, I'm not using my degree. I kind of wish that I'd gone to drama school or something instead. I mean, I still could, although like I'm 25 now. It's kind of like I'm getting a little bit too old. Or am I? I don't know. I don't know anything about drama school. Because like the school I went to was kind of like, okay, when you leave here, you either get a job or you go to uni. Like those are the only two options. So I left school, went to uni, did a drama degree, didn't really do anything with it, and learnt nothing. I learnt fuck all about the industry from my drama course. So when I left uni, I left still not knowing how to get into acting, still not knowing what to do in an audition, anything like that. Everything I know, and I still have tons to learn, but everything I know about the industry, I've learned through my own experience. I've learned since I left uni, just doing my own stuff. So anyway, I left uni, didn't know what to do, and then I was just kind of like really, it sounds odd, but I was just really scared to try and get into it because I didn't know it. I didn't know how, firstly, and I just really didn't know what to do. But anyway, through talking to friends, I like joined a couple of sites and started going to like a couple of auditions, and like I wouldn't call myself an actress, because like, not that I'm saying like you can't call yourself an actor unless you've had like a big break, but I've not had anything major, I would say, that I got serious coin for. So yeah, and I haven't done it in ages, so I really wouldn't consider myself an actor. Anyway, I had my first audition in months earlier today. I don't think it went particularly well, but it's just nice to be out of the house. But it just got me thinking about what to do for this week's video, because I want to try and upload weekly, you know, like a proper YouTuber. So I'm going to tell you the story of the worst. It's not the worst audition I've ever had. I've not really had any bad auditions. I think it's just okay. I'm going to tell you the story of the weirdest audition I ever had. It was so weird. Okay, so this happened like 2 years ago yesterday. So today is Thursday. It happened 2 years ago yesterday. And I was like applying for all this stuff. I was on this one particular site called Star Now, which is kind of like where you kind of start out. So like my friend suggested it to me because you can sign up and you can apply for things that are kind of unpaid, like student projects, and like people just wanting, like, they call it TFP, which is time for pictures. So like if you're like into modelling or whatever, then you can like kind of build up a portfolio because they're learning how to take pictures, you're learning how to model, so you can kind of help each other out like that, which I understand, but obviously it's not for everyone because it doesn't pay. But anyway, so you can sign up to this site called Star Now, create a profile, you can apply for things for free, and then if you pay for a subscription you can pay you can apply for the paid gigs. It's not on Star Now, it's not always really good shit on there. Sometimes there is, like every so often something comes up and you're like, oh my, Starbucks ad, okay. But yeah, there's not really a lot. But anyway, so in my I can't speak. I should have done a vocal warm up. See, I told you, I'm not an actress. Oh, anyway. So in my naivety, 2 years ago, how old was I? 23. I should have known better. 23. Oh my god. Anyway, in my naivety as a 23-year-old actress just starting out of the industry, I was applying for everything and anything. I am 4'8". I am short, fat and brown. So I am what my agent described as a niche casting, which she's right. I mean, how many people that are short, fat and brown do you see on TV? So my attitude when I go to a casting is, look, cast me, I'm ticking all your boxes, mate. Ticking all of them. Like, I'm mixed race, so that's black and white people coming together in love. I'm short, diversity in sizes, and I'm fat. So there's the curvy box ticked. Hiya me bitch. Anyway, so I was applying for everything and anything, and I came across this casting that was looking for curvy, what was it, like curvy circus burlesque performers. And now I think about it, like the casting in itself, for those of you that don't know, a casting call or a casting on a website is kind of like a job description that you would get for a job that you're going for, that basically tells you like the kind of person, like a job description would be like, oh, we want you to have this qualification, this qualification, this qualification, and these skills. A casting is like that, but instead of qualifications, it's like, we want you to be this colour, this tall, this gender, and this colour, usually. Oh, and this build. So a lot of the time, like, you'll be scrolling through castings and you'll find one, it's like, oh brilliant, I can do all this, like, oh, you have to be able to do this accent, yes, you have to live here, yes, you have to be available this time, sure, I can pull a sickie, and then you scroll to the bottom and it's like, must be Caucasian. Well, I'm mixed race, my mum's white, so I'm half of one. Does that count? I could, please? No. And then sometimes you'll scroll down and it won't say Caucasian, so you're like, oh yes, and then you scroll down and be like, I could do this. Blue eyes, blonde hair. Am I committed enough to get a blonde weave and contacts? The answer is no, but I could turn up, and what the fuck they're gonna say? Anyway, yeah. So anyway, I found this casting on this website, and it was like curvy burlesque circus thing. Like, it was actually quite vague, but basically like this guy was like, he was making like a film and a book to go along with it. Like, it was super vague, which is why I can't remember, but it was like £10 an hour, and I was like, Yeah, go on then. Even though for a modelling or an acting job, you should get far more than £10 an hour, which is why I keep telling my boyfriend that I don't want to get a full-time job because stuff pays better. But anyway, so it's like it was like £10 an hour. It was like a 4-hour shoot, and I was like, sign me up, B. Where I gotta go. And the audition was in Deptford. It was in a studio in Deptford, and I was like, oh my god, it's like a proper photography studio. Oh, bitch, we're professional as hell. Oh my god. And then my mum told me later, you know, anyone can hire a studio, which we'll get into that. But anyway, so it was in a professional studio, so I was like, oh my gosh. So I travelled all the way, like, I live in West London, Deptford is East London. Like, I'm used to travelling that far, but think about it now, I'm like, ugh, trek. But like, if the money's good, which it wasn't, but if the money's good and there's a job, then I'll like basically travel anywhere in London, because I haven't got a car as of yet, but when I do, I will be able to go wherever. But so I went all the way to West London. I was on time. I got there, had to go find the right room, and we were like right at the back. And then I got there, and the guy who I'd been in communication with, I don't mean this to sound rude, but he just didn't look like the kind of person that you'd expect a casting director or the director of something to look like. He was a larger man. He was a larger man. He was a larger lad. Not a problem with that. But just like his hair wasn't very well kept. Like his hair was really greasy, and then his t-shirt was like faded and way too small for him, and he was wearing jogging bottoms, and like his stomach was kind of stuck out the bottom of his t-shirt. And I was like, I mean, each to their own. If you want to wear a crop like Winnie the Pooh, then you do you. So that was kind of like, oh, okay, but yeah, sure, there's some eccentric people in the industry, so whatevs. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I got there, and there were a couple of other women, and I'm going to make the point now, they were all a lot older than me, right? So we're all curvy women, we're all plus size women, but they were a lot older than me. There was like some middle-aged women, and then there was like some women who was like slightly older, like I'd say like in their 60s, right? My point is, before I continue, they should have known, I mean, I should have known better, but they should have known better. Okay. So anyway, so like I assume like we'd all got there, and we're all kind of sat there and talking, and he's like, okay, let's come into the room. So we went into the studio. It's like quite a small room, like a box room kind of. It was all like white walls and like photography equipment in there, and he was like, okay, have we got any special skills, like have you got any circus skills? And we kind of went around, like somebody could do, I think somebody was a contortionist, somebody else was a gymnast, somebody else could do like, is it called the Diablo, like, you can tell what I'm doing from this, right? I'm not doing anything dodgy. You can tell, like the sticks with the string, and then the weird thingy, and the woo. You see them in Comic Con all the time. Anyway, so somebody could do that. Somebody else was doing something else, and they got around to me, and they're like, "Have you got any special skills?" And I was like, "No, but I'd be willing to learn." Get this bitch out. Anyway. So he was like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's fine. And we're all talking, we're all chilling. Like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to show you my special skill now. Proceeds to get out an iPad, go onto the camera roll, and flick through various pictures of himself lying on a floor in a photography studio in a banana costume with women stood on him in heels. So he's like, oh yeah, this is the skill I'll be bringing to the production. Nobody batted an eyelid. Nobody said anything. I thought it was a fucking joke. I was like, where are the cameras, babe? I'm being punked. Wagwan. But he was deadly fucking serious. And he's like, right, so let's give it a go then. I'm like, what? And this is my point. The other women said nothing. They said nothing. They went along with it. So either they were tricking me, or I don't know, God knows what. They're trying to get me into like some kind of sex trafficking ring or something, or they were just as, I don't know, dumbfounded as I was. So he then proceeded to lie on the floor, and one by one we stood on him. And then he had this other woman who was working with him take pictures. So somewhere out there on the internet, there is a picture of me stood on a man's back. I mean, he wasn't wearing the banana costume, but there is a picture of me out there somewhere. Probably in the deep, dark recesses of this man's computer. There is a picture of me stood on his back. And then when I got off, he was like, oh yeah, careful how you disembark. You're not a ship. Yeah. And then he was like, oh yeah, okay. Be in touch. And then I left and went home, and I told my mum. And it wasn't until I got home and told my mum that I realised what I'd done. It's not normal. So yeah, that's the story of the weirdest audition I've ever had. I think about the stupid shit I used to do when I was little. What? The stupid shit I used to do when I was younger, like from like the age of like 18 to like 22. I did some questionable shit and people. Like, I don't know what I was doing. But obviously, when I was 23, I still hadn't learned my lesson. I was standing on men in studios in Deptford. Yeah, so that's the story of the weirdest audition I ever had. It's crazy times. Anyway, I don't really know how to round this off, but like, share, and subscribe. Is this what YouTubers do? Am I a YouTuber? Are you proud of me now, Daddy? Are you proud of me? He's not dead. It's like 2 miles down the road, but we don't speak. I have daddy issues, which is why I do this. Anyway, goodbye.